Om Shanti and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fruitful edition of Friday with Friends. And today's friend is an old friend, a good friend, Dev Bhai. Hello, Dev. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
It's good to see you. And I enjoyed our chat the other day when you came over. It just so happened that you had some free time. And we were actually in the neighborhood and we saw each other face to face.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you said the door would be open. I didn't expect it to be wide open.
Oh no, that made me think about that. That's a little too, the open door policy can be taken too far. All right, so today's theme is seeing the gem within the stone. So a gemstone, seeing the gem within the stone. Dev, tell me, when you hear that sentence, what comes up in your mind?
What comes up first is that seeing something, making a difficult situation easy, like something happened. For example, you might be driving up the street and suddenly the road is blocked, and then you got to divert, and you are not too happy about that. But then you went into a road which was nice and serene. It had nice trees. It was a nice drive. There were, it wasn't stressful driving there. It's like driving up 441 up in your area, going up to Palm Beach. A lot of time traffic diverts there.
And that's so true. That's so true. And, it often makes me think that, and it's something that I like to do as a practice for myself, is give myself an extra 5 minutes to enjoy the process of getting to the destination. It's not really about getting there. It's about the whole time. Yes, it is about the journey. But in terms of, I think that's one situation. But to take another, what about in terms of the one that really tests us is other people?
Yes, well,
and
that happens.
What may seem like a stone coming to us that someone's hard to deal with and it's easy to see faults. How do you put that into practical use?
Yes, that's a common thing, especially in this modern day. You would expect that, that we have the best communication ever. We have best modern science and telephones and WhatsApp, all the information that we have today, and we are still caught up in simple things with interacting with people. People get angry easily or too easily sometimes. So what happens, some people throw stones at you, rather than saying something good about you. So what you got to stop when that happens. You got to just stop and observe. So you got to put another hat on, a hat of observer, and which means you are stepping aside a bit. You're not getting caught up in their reaction. You're not getting caught up in their emotion. You just stop, stand back mentally a bit, and observe. And that in itself is the first method to deal with difficult situation or deal with difficult people. Because, people are nice deep down, but it's all these mundane things which is influencing people, and they are reacting. And, we are living in a society of instant. People want stuff instantly. Somebody send you a text, then want an instant reply. They don't care if you're driving. So, the first thing which I use is to stop.
Stop.
Yeah. Pause, stop, and observe, and then get back on to interact. And I might be able to interact in a different way, rather than reacting with that person. They say yellow, you say blue, you say right, you say wrong, and it becomes a boxing match. But, stop and observe and then deal with whatever. And that gives you a bit of time. That gives you that pause, gives you a different energy comes over you, because you simply didn't spend the energy in that back and forth. So
it seems to me that what you're saying is that you don't, to feel good, you're not depending on that other person's response to you to be in a certain way.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of the time we depend on somebody else to say, hey, you're looking good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like your shirt, something.
Well, brother, I like your shirt, by the way. I do like your shirt.
And when people don't receive compliments, they feel left out, they feel sad, because they have become dependent on these things. But deep down inside, there is that jewel, and as I tell people all the time, we got to, start practicing something different, because a lot of time we are doing the same thing day after day, and we expect to get a different result. We are caught up in this. And for me, I'm always trying to see if I could have a different approach to some situation or something which happens.
So that's also an example of seeing the gem. It's not just people, it's also situations that seem stone-like, but really there might be a gift on the inside of that, or somewhere hidden in that.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes this individual becomes such a nice person, they become a friend.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's simply because, the way I acted, the way I reacted. And I didn't react, I acted, and I acted in a different way. I responded differently, different from the norm, different from what other people might respond. Somebody you use obscene language, they expect you to return that the same way.
Oh, yes.
You didn't do it the same way. Oh, this guy's different.
That's true. And I think it starts with what you started with, is to stop.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm not reacting to that. I'm stopping. So after, okay, I've stopped. Now, what am I going to do in place of that? How, if I'm used to being a certain way, how do I change from reacting into responding?
Yes, so the fundamental thing we learn in meditation is that every single person is a divine, peaceful being. And if I start to think about it in that way, this person is love, this person is peace, that changes my mentality. So that nice, from that point of view, I could generate compassion And when I speak with compassion, the outcome is different.
So in order to do that, you must have a pretty good realization of yourself
Of who
as
you are,
being
yes.
a divine being.
Yes, a divine being,
That
a
it
child of
starts
God.
with you. Otherwise, you're gonna need them to appreciate you before you can bestow that upon them. So in a way, you're saying that it's an unconditional
Yes,
response.
absolutely. It's unconditional. From the time we start putting people in compartments, you know, they are like this, they are like that, you know, they're angry, you know, they are weak, or you know, we get into trouble with our relationship, you know.
You know,
Yes, if we are able to have that feeling, and because, you know, you have that thought, and remember, thought is energy. And when you have that thought that this person who is throwing stone at me, let me see, I know deep down inside they are a beautiful human being, but let me think of them that way, and that generates energy. And then you see the person might change. Doesn't happen all the time, but it helps.
well, it's, you know, there's a certain amount of time something has to be repeated before it is put into practice. And sometimes I expect the finished result because I've done it, not realizing that maybe I have to do that 25 more times or 2,500 more
Yes.
times.
Yeah, it's a practice, and all I'm saying that you know, this is the way. This is what I try. I'm not. I sometimes I'm caught up with situation, and I am caught off guard, you know, and you know, but then at the end of the day or the next day, I said, oh my, I shouldn't have. And then you can start repairing it.
Well, that's part of the process. And I think that that's really important, not to take on that type of judgment of yourself. So in a way, that's seeing the gem in yourself instead of the stone that you like there's a punishment involved, like,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I did wrong. And that's exactly what we don't need. As you were talking earlier, I was getting the feeling that I don't know if there's anyone who doesn't realize what their own faults are. You know, we realize the weaknesses, and when someone else points them out to us, it doesn't necessarily help. So by you seeing me more, some speciality that I have, I'm feeling validated.
Absolutely.
That you see me in this way. And then my relationship with you changes right away.
Yeah, absolutely. That, you know, that's a process, you know, that's a little process. And sometimes this happens simultaneously when you are interacting with someone that, you know, that they could change simultaneously so quickly, just simply because you responded different from what they might have expected, you know, you to respond with.
And if what you said is true, that we're all divine beings, then I'm telling the truth. And that soul will, at some level, have to recognize that, you know, that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And me having that thought about them, that helps them in that journey, you know, to recognize that, you know, they are truly a loving being. They are truly a peaceful being.
And doesn't that make you feel good as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's a perfect example, as the one that's doing it receives the same, if not more than the one receiving.
Yes, absolutely.
It's truly a win-win.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So let's see if I can recap what you've said. To see the gem within the stone, number one is to stop so that I can begin to observe. And then I have the second thought that this soul is also a divine being, just like me, and let me relate to them on that level. And then thirdly, let me not expect the results to come just because I'm doing it. Let me see the results come in their own time. Would that be a fair recap of what you said?
Yes, absolutely. It doesn't happen overnight, but immediately you are served. You are serving yourself first to begin by. You are not making a mistake. You're not making a mistake in the way you respond and making them make a bad situation feel worse.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, bro, what we often do at this time is that I ask the speaker of the day to condense everything that they've just talked about and turn it into like an essence. And to what I find is that meditation is the easiest way for have this information come into me. That give us a little commentary with just as you express your own divinity on this subject of seeing the gem within the stone. Are you game for that?
Okay, let's go. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so the first thing we do is relax. And to relax, let's breathe deeply 3 times. Inhale out. Inhale in. Out and in. Out and in. And I am relaxed. And let's use the secret of Om to start our meditation. Om. And now I am completely relaxed. I sit on a seat of peace. And I'm able to step back from all the external things of the world. I'm able to slow my thoughts. I'm able to pause. And in pausing, I'm slowing almost to a stop all my energies which is going outside. And I am within my peaceful being. I am peace. I am love. And let me share that energy of peace, of love. Let me be that. Let me spread that energy. Let others around me feel that peace, that love. And I observe that energy moving. I observe that energy of peace, the energy of love, moving and permeating around me. And with that energy, I can see the jewel that you are, the jewel that I am. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's always a real pleasure to be in the moment of it happening, you know. And speaking of jewels, it seems like one jewel is brighter than the next. You know, when you really interact with one another with that way that you just brought us through that meditation commentary, is that you really things are brighter. Like right now, your shirt's brighter, your face is brighter, everything is brighter because something gets touched, you know, a way of seeing. And I'm just so, I'm thankful and I'm full of gratitude. So I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, we always have to find joy in our journey. And good night to everyone.
You brought it back to the beginning. Thank you so much. So I'll say goodbye. We'll see you again.